Citizens, yes, once again, I'm going to be banging on about social justice and or the woke or whatever appellation you want to apply. But as cracks appear in their collective armor, now is not the time to take a break or let our guards down. For you see, all this crappy entertainment, gender and race-swapping nonsense and pop culture IP destruction we have had to endure is actually all tied together in one giant ball of insanity that seemingly started as disparate pieces of stupidity that actually snuck up on us and has now coalesced into an attack on the West that Russian Yuri Bezmenov famously predicted in the 70s. Now, okay, he didn't predict the demise of Marvel Comics specifically, but he did kind of predict the replacement of the old guard with purple-haired DEI hired nut jobs. And yes, it includes all the BLM trans activists, multinational corporations racing to see who can be the most rainbow, as well as campus and street protests ostensibly about the war in the Middle East. Okay, now you're going, oh no, Paul has gone full Alex Jones. Okay, now hear me out. The one thing that ties together the aforementioned groups, the IP deconstructionalists, the decolonialists, is that they hate America and the West in general. Now, if you're asking how are all these unlikely bedfellows and showbiz connected, you just have to read what they write and listen to what they say and check the tiny lapel pin one particular stupid Australian actor wears. The protesters, critical race theory grifters, queers wishing to get thrown off of rooftops, and teachers that teach their kindergartners about the wheel of privilege and power are all kissing cousins to the morons who have decimated our favorite entertainment properties. They all breathe the same air. Of course, this should come as no surprise to any of you. The leftoids have been given a gift vis-a-vis the length of the most recent Middle Eastern conflict. The end of the war will be irrelevant. These groups will want what has been engendered through that war to be a permanent fixture. Just watch, which will be proof that this nonsense was never about the war. Also, to no surprise to anyone, this has been well coordinated and financed. Well, you might ask, why aren't these mysterious financiers backing movies of these brilliant numpties? Because they don't have to. No one has to force Hollywood to take the knee of public debasement as long as it includes a Chanel or Balenciaga gown. Plus, most of these high school dropouts are too afraid to not look virtuous. The social justice actors, writers, directors, showrunners, campus protesters, trans activists, etc., are all living off the fumes of the 60s. They believe they are change makers. What it really is an impediment to progress. They are an impediment to progress, and not too healthy to boot. For DEI is anti-freedom. Its ultimate goal, and this will surprise many of you, is no DEI. DEI is not interested in real DEI because then they'd be forced to include white men and Asians. That's the joke. The students promoting peaceful political speech are the ones who most want the U.S. to become the Soviet Union to expressly curtail peaceful political speech, because they don't want others to have it, and somehow communism has come back in fashion. My parents who escaped Hungary were not too keen on communism, and one must consider the quality of the protesters themselves, especially the student ones we've seen on videos. Are any of them going to become vanguards of creativity? No, they wouldn't even make for a decent audience. even if they could afford the theater ticket. Does anyone think anyone amongst those face-covered zealots will be the next Christopher Nolan or Wes Anderson? Ouch, my side. I lived with communists at university. They were all dim-witted morons. The people who stole the schools, the medical accreditation bodies, government agencies, the entertainment industry don't want us to have it back. That is the fight. And the only way to win at least the entertainment battle is to abandon what we have lost. We must stop wallowing in what we will never get back and make new stuff. I produced a video game in the 90s that sold so well our royalties amounted to nearly $500,000. Unfortunately, the publishers refused to pay us. After a year of trying, heartache, everything, do you know what I did? I moved on. I had every right to come into work every day filled with bitter rage, but it did nothing for me or my family or my employees or my company. Moving on changed my life for the better. Being positive is a muscle that needs to be exercised or it will atrophy. Time to move on. Thanks for listening, denizens. Be seeing you.